Josh is in there. And he even subscribed today, by the way.
Oh, he did? Cool, cool. I'm happy that he did. I mean, yeah, we're muted right now, right? Okay. I'm listening to the stream and I don't hear anything yet.
right, everybody, how we doing? We are now live. Can I get a yay or nay on sound out there in the chat world?
We'll have to give it just a second because
Oh,
of the
yeah.
delay.
Yeah, of
Yep,
course.
yep.
More like 20 seconds.
Yeah, roughly. Oh, wow. Delay's not too bad today. Let's see.
Right.
I
And
don't hear
chat
anything.
world. Oh, I hear us.
You do? We'll have to give
I
it
have
just a
somebody
second
muted.
because
Oh,
of the
yeah.
delay.
Yeah, of
Yep,
course.
yep.
I
Oh,
hear us. We're
okay.
good.
Okay,
We
good,
are
good, good.
good. So we verified our own sound because people in the chat are too slow. I would have thought Josh, the audio file would have been all over that. You sound like crap.
I know, right? I know. I'm really shocked too, man.
Love that guy though. I mean, I do. Sometimes his honesty is brutal, but it's good. You know, it's good to always have that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Either way, guys, welcome to this week's pod. Ruben, Christopher, and hey, good but a little low. Okay, my mic is all the way up. There we go. Well, as everything's peaked up to the top as it can be for sound. So
Okay.
I cannot boost it any more than that. But either way, welcome to the chat, Mr. Ruben. Nice to see you. Haven't seen you in here before. I hope you enjoy our podcast. This is episode 8 for season 2. And today we got a lot of cool things to talk about. But before we start talking about the topic, how was your week? Because I'll tell you what, my week started off pretty damn dope. And then all of a sudden it kind of went boom. Everything just ran out of steam and things happened and all that kind of good stuff.
My week has been full of mountains, man. That's all I'm gonna say. There's been a bunch of ups and a bunch of downs. So that's where I gotta leave that.
Yeah. You know, some of them have been very, and some of the issues have been collectively between us and the channel stuff. It's been kind of cool. Lots of meetings throughout the week on different things. Did the community cast over on Rumble, which is awesome. If you haven't had an opportunity to check us out over on Rumble, go ahead and check us out over there. I mean, at one point in time, I think we had like 15 people in that chat.
Yeah, it was
15 or more.
It was a large audience.
It was a large audience,
time.
which is very interactive on the chat. And of course, when we do our community cast, we do them here on what we do is everybody meets up in the lounge on Discord. So if you're not a member of our Discord, join our Discord, and then you can certainly go. The link will be in the description, as well as in. I'm sure that Jonathan's going to drop it down here.
Yep, that's what I'm working on right now.
Okay, so anyhow, we'll do that. There is a bit of an echo on me. That's wild. I have no idea what that's from.
What are you hearing?
An echo on me.
Oh, on you. Why would it be me?
I don't know. I mean, like your speaker, if your microphone's picking up your speaker.
I only have my headphones.
Never mind. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Linux en casa está en la casa. Bienvenido, mi amigo. ¿Cómo está? Yo entiendo que tengo retorno, pero no sé cómo. No sé cómo.
I turned audio a little bit, and we'll see if that helps. If it is me. These are very sensitive on that type of stuff. So.
Eso, echo. Yeah, yo entiendo. In case you guys don't know, but Señor Linux en Casa is a friend of the channel. He has a large YouTube audience in South America, and it's in probably all the Latin communities. Let's be honest. He's got a great channel. You guys, if you can, just go over and support him, like and subscribe to his channel. He does it primarily in Spanish, but I think we're gonna have him come on and we're gonna teach him English. No, I'm just kidding. I think he knows some pretty good English.
Are we?
Yeah, I've discussed it with him. We just haven't planned out a date. So, but anyhow, Linux en Casa is a great channel. He does a lot of live streaming stuff. So, either way, guys, we're talking today about app in 24.10. That's going to be our first topic. And so,
yes.
Let's go ahead and show the fellas the article. And I'm pulling it up on screen right now. Wait a minute. Why is that one there? That shouldn't be the one. What the heck? Okay, hang on a second. This is wild. Let's go back to this. I don't understand why.
Hey there, Whiskey Linux. We're really happy to
Whiskey's
have you
there?
here.
Nice.
Yeah,
So,
Whiskey's in the
for
chat.
some reason, I don't know why my web pages are messed up all of a sudden. Hang on a second. We're trying to fix this issue here. Okay. Weird. I'm trying to get the right web page here. It didn't save for some reason. Oh well. We'll avoid the web page. Anyhow, app in 2410. You want to talk about it? Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So apt for 24.10, they're finally doing the things they should have done 15 years ago.
Ain't that the truth?
Right. So you guys know what Nala is, right? It's a front end, and basically it allows for parallel downloads and other kind of things along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're finally adding it, and they're finally doing
no,
what
they're
they
not
should have
adding
done.
Nala. No. Let's be
No,
clear.
no, not Nala, but like
They are adding
it's not
portions of
Nala.
Nala. They're
Yeah,
adding
yeah.
color support for what's installed and what's not installed. They're also adding where they broke it down into, I guess like human readable format, where it shows a package name columnar and then the the version of it columnar and all that good stuff. It's all in column. That's about it. But what they should have done if they really wanted to take care of what's up, Ricky, by the way, if they really wanted to take care of if they want to take care of this and do it real, what they should have just done is just adopted Nala into it, really. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would have argued more using them adopting apt fast, but you know my opinions on that versus Nala.
App fast versus Nala?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm just
I
saying,
made a whole video on it. Yeah.
so clearly, okay, I understand what you're saying, but my thing is that they clearly made the decision that they wanted to beautify, they wanted to make it into a decent format that's nice and readable and legible and, all those good things, right? Where it's delineated very well.
Right.
What, like Nala, I don't know if any of you guys haven't heard of Nala. You must be under a rock if you haven't heard of Nala or just don't use Debian or, any Debian-based distributions at all. But Nala is singularly probably the best beautification to any package manager ever done, in my honest opinion. The way they beautified it, the way they even broke it up into different segments and stuff is absolutely gorgeous. You know what I mean? They really done well with it. And if they were going after that vein, which is what they were clearly doing when they broke it into columnization and added color and stuff like that, when they did that, to me, that was them making the clear choice of choosing the beautification over the fastness of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think we've talked about this before, but I generally think if they're gonna do something, they should try to do like a combination of what apt fast and Nala does. And you're right, Nala looks much better. Like it's really nicely designed, but it does limit you. I believe it's
That
to
was one of my
3
bigger
different
videos
simultaneous.
too. When I first discovered Nala and I reviewed it, which I think I was one of the first probably 5 or 6 YouTubers to actually review it, and it was dope. Everybody really loved it, and to this day it still holds true. It's like after had playing with it for a while and using it, I look at most other package managers. I'm like, gee, I wish everybody would have adopted that. And that was some of the comments that were made on that video. Oh, by the way, thank you, señor. Me alegro que el audio está bien ahora. He's saying that the audio is really good. Yeah,
Yep.
Dude. I could go both ways, man. I could translate in Spanish too.
I can read a little bit of Spanish. I'm not like perfect, but I know what that meant.
That's good because you're gonna be amazed when he comes on our channel, right?
I'm gonna be pretty surprised, and I'm probably gonna feel a little out of touch because I'm okay with reading it to some extent, but I cannot speak it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean that's the thing with Nala is the beautification of it, and I get where they're going with this, and I'm good and I'm glad with that. But I mean, I guess baby steps are in order here with this. But if they would have just talked to the development team and say, hey, we want to just incorporate it, and just incorporate it, wouldn't that been pretty awesome?
And I wish. I mean, at least they're heading in the right direction, one step at a time. I mean, I don't know why they haven't fully incorporated things yet, but
But I mean,
I
as a
mean,
whole, and I don't want to seem like I'm slamming, app either, because actually app. I mean, we all know what my not so favorite package manager is. They could use a whole lot of learning from apt. Apt is not a bad package manager. I don't wanna like minimize apt in any way, shape, or form. It works. It's functional. It's good.
right, right. I
So
mean,
anyway,
I agree with you, but apt is also it feels like it's behind to me, right? I think of it like I don't know if I'm just thinking that's wrong, but if you're in a data center, right, you don't want things to be like super, super slow, right? Or am I just wrong on this?
but
Good, right.
I kind of understand what you're saying, and I get what you're saying, because inherently one of the first things that I do, and this has to be number one thing that I do whenever I install like art, is I immediately go to the pacman.conf file, and
Hmm.
then I adjust the parallel download,
I do
and
too.
I bump them up to, sometimes I bump them up to 30, sometimes I bump them up to 50. I know a lot of people are like, you
Right.
shouldn't go over 10, da da da. Dude, dude, one time I was playing with it and I hammered it up to like 150,
Yeah. I mean,
and
it's
it
just
didn't
whatever your
crash, it didn't do
connection can
anything.
support.
It just
Yeah.
worked fast, And now, was it any faster than the 10 or 20? I don't know. After so long, you can't really tell. You know what I mean? I just don't feel I
Right.
could tell unless I'm doing a speed test at the same time. You know what I mean? But either way, to me, I just felt like every package manager. That's what I'm saying. Even Pac-Man is slow.
I don't know. I
I
don't.
mean, some of
I
them
think I'm gonna
move a
argue with
little
you on
bit
that.
faster than others, but I just don't know, how much faster. I guess it's kind of like web browsers. I mean, when Thorium came out, dude, you could tell it was a markedly speed difference, just like Florp.
Much. Yeah.
Florp is fast as hell too. Okay, you can tell the market speed difference, but exactly how much, I don't think there's a true accurate way of really um measuring that. Now I know Josh has probably got he's out there somewhere, and he's probably got a technical answer for that. So if he wants to chime in right now, that'd be pretty good on chat. But either way, um, I don't know. I don't know of an accurate way of measuring those kind of things. See if it's just our imagination, our perception, whatever you want to
Right.
call it.
Because I mean, we can look at it and we can think it's going slow, but it might just honestly just be a lot of verbose we're not even seeing that's happening.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
like Zipper, of course, I hate that package manager. I mean, if there's anything that I genuinely hate, and I don't do that with very many things, I have strong dislike, but I can literally say that I hate Zipper.
We do need to revisit it sometime soon, and the reason why I was actually informed yesterday and the day before and the day before that by Xaniath that Zipper has actually had a small improvement. I don't remember who it was, but it's working okay. I actually saw Xaniath install something, and I mean it was fast, and that's a scary thing for me to be saying. Zipper,
What?
from what we've used, is not fast.
Really? I wonder how did
Yeah.
what prompted this change after? Are you sure he wasn't using like the OPI or
No, no,
something?
no. It was Zipper. I watched him type in the command and hit enter. It had something to do with I think it was a company or an organization that committed the change. And then I watched it on Xania's connection. Note, he is on a 2 gig up and down. So that's part of it, but
Mm-hmm.
it was fast. It was
Dude, I
weird.
can't imagine what that would be like to actually have enough bandwidth and internet to be able to install stuff lightning fast. And just that's scary. The other possibility that's scary to think is that Zipper actually requires a large gigabit connection in order to actually function well.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, there's so many people in the world that just don't have that. And
First year, Jay saying first year did a change 2 years ago and finally got them to push it through on the Zipper team. Well, so it took them 2 years to push through the fix. Is that what you're saying?
I guess so. I guess so.
Okay, now that's embarrassing to admit as a wow. It makes it better. It's not as good as others because of mirrors, but yeah, yeah. So it could be probably his internet that made that difference.
Right, but still, I mean, if it's as long as it's getting better, that's what matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So either way, Zipper, like I said, that's the exception to the rule. That I don't think there's much fixing it as much as what you guys are saying there is outside of it. But other package managers, you can definitely fix a lot better. You know what I mean? They're a lot sooner, a lot faster, just by going into their comp files. And I don't think I tried. Are there parallel downloads? Can you initiate parallel downloads
No,
in Zipper? I don't think I
no, it does
tried it.
not have that capability yet. You can use an accelerator, but that only does so much.
Not enough North American mirrors. That's wild. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyhow, so that's a wrap on topic number one. Topic number two is ARM is going away in a distribution, and it's sad for the reason. But what's even more crazier is that they're not exactly asking for the help they need. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on screen because that one's actually working. And what it is Endeavour OS is getting rid of their ARM branch because maintainers are needed. Apparently, if you read the article, which is over on 905 Linux, they're talking about that they had issues of being falling further and further behind because there was only one
Hmm.
maintainer out there that was actually supporting the whole package, the repository, and so it created a nightmare for them on the maintenance side of things. And so, as a consequence, they felt it better to, uh, I guess, dump the system, for better words, and
Yeah. Yeah.
ask
I mean,
for
kind of.
and ask for a maintainer to maintain whatever's there. For me, if you're
Right.
going all out and you're asking for a maintainer, at this point, I would have also asked for maybe a developer if anybody's interested in.
I mean, typically, whenever somebody's asking for a maintainer, they usually are thinking of it as two in one, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I agree. I think they should ask for two separate roles. And it typically goes better, but I mean, there's only so many people who are actually willing to spend their free
Well, that's a
time,
lot of
on a
dedication and
project like
time.
that.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Yeah,
dedication
yeah.
and time. And according to them, they were seriously behind on releases for it anyhow. So
Hmm.
that would mean a mountainous pile of work to have to catch up on just to get it kind of current, probably. Also, the other thing is what for me, why I would be concentrating on that, or maybe asking for that kind of stuff, or seeking out somebody, or maybe assigning another developer to maybe try to learn it or something like that, is the future of ARM. I mean, I know we've talked about it many times,
Hmm.
and ARM is prevalent, and it's only growing more and more and more. And in a way, it could be argued that that's definitely the future of the hardware going on in Linux. Everybody's wanting smaller and smaller and smaller. And if you could get more concentrated on a board with add-ons, that you could just add, modularity. I mean, that's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're right. I think the future of ARM, or future of Linux, and really desktop computing in general, is probably ARM. And the
Mm-hmm.
primary reason is efficiency and battery life, right? Because I
Correct.
mean, I know people here in the Linux space typically don't like Apple very much, but they are a good example of this. If you look at their ARM
Mm-hmm.
chips versus when they were using Intel chips, there's been a significant battery life improvement.
Huge. In fact, that's exactly one of the reasons why a fellow YouTuber went and bought a MacBook, whose name is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
going
we all know who that is, right?
to
Let's not do any shout out names.
yeah. But in any instance, it's true. It's very much so true. It's the way I think it's the future of computing. So for them to do this is kind of a way, in a way, a step back on their part. And to me, that's just a little short-sighted for the future of their disk, because they're kind of pigeonholing themselves, so to speak, by getting rid of that, because they won't be able to pivot so easy. If that
Could
makes sense.
you?
Am I
I
wrong on
don't
that?
I don't get what you mean. If you could try explaining it in another way.
Like when people start making the migration to a lot of ARM, to everything going ARM. I mean, this could literally prevent Endeavour from being adopted. you know what I'm saying, and just fall off and be non-existent anymore. I mean, in a way, they
I
kind
don't
of are. I
think
mean, I
so.
remember when Endeavor came out, dude, they were the rake because of how beautiful their desktop environment
Yeah.
was and everything else. And
Oh,
not so you don't run across so many people using Endeavor anymore. I mean, I'm not trying to say that, but this could be in a way for them to stay relevant, if that makes sense.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I have a theory, but I mean, I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. You know how there's things like Wine, there's other translation layers like Rosetta for Mac OS and that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if at some point there's gonna be something where it's gonna be for like OS level, right? And then you could translate everything that's happening on the OS, and basically you're emulating it, kinda like what virtual machines already do, right?
What's up,
And you could
Waffles?
just run it like that on hardware.
Oh shit!
Oh, Waffles, why'd you
What?
do that?
It's over, guys. He's installed Windows. He's got to
Oh,
be pranking us. He's got to be pranking us.
Waffles is trolling us. I know it because
He
I've heard this
has to be.
before.
Either way, all I'll say is this, man. Waffles, you do what you do, baby. You got to do what works for you. But
Yep, yep.
but yeah, you know, maybe maybe that's a you know, there's no real way to predict what's going on because I mean everything's changing so fast and so vastly. Just like you know, everybody said the same thing about Wayland when freaking you know it started with X11, and now look, you've got major distributions dumping
I
X11. You
was
know what I'm saying?
right.
I mean,
I was thinking that exact same thing.
you know, I mean, so I mean, there's no way of telling this, and of course, we're not prognosticating. We're just simply stating opinions, not facts, because we don't have all the facts. We don't have everything. But the truth is if that is the case, and you know, ARM does become that way, this certainly, for the moment. Now they may find a developer, a maintainer that is what you know, a hybrid developer and maintainer that could come along and all of a sudden just revive this from the ground up. I mean, the greatest story of that is the Unity desktop for Ubuntu.
That
Literally, what was he, a 9 or 8 year old kid at the time when he first picked it up and just revamped it? And then a couple years later, he
yeah,
wound up having a whole team at like 12 or 13, and Ubuntu picked it
and
up
now
as an
he
official
supports
flavor.
another distribution called
Yeah,
BlenderOS. Like it's his own distro. It's freaking cool.
yeah. So I mean, this could possibly happen with Endeavour OS in that. Now, also, Endeavour OS historically also has been with their regular distribution had periods where they didn't have very good maintenance and very good upkeep as well. So this could be a phase for them in that aspect. They've shored up the OS part. Now they're just looking at the ARM brain. Just got an
Yeah, I think. I mean, I think people just know at this point that generally with computing, right? x86, 64. I don't think it's going away per se anytime soon, but it's probably not going to be used in the same capacity that it has been for the last 20, 30 years. Because, I mean, ARM exists, V or RISC V exists.
mm-hmm.
I mean, there's other things out there that are just more efficient and just generally are more niche based, but they do a better job, at least for the stuff that we use our computers for at home, right? I mean,
Right.
just makes sense.
Green Gecko's in the chat. Welcome, Green Gecko. He says every aspect of Windows sucks in my honest opinion, especially with their ads in the start menu. Which, if you paid for an OS, it's incredibly mind blowing. Uh, and people accept it. How people accept this. You're absolutely correct. But then
Yep.
again, just by the very nature of the fact that you're here in our chat while we're doing our live, I think you have seen the light, and you can you know kind of forget that time that time frame that ever happened in your life. You can now fully recover from the you know the horrific things that were done to you by Windows.
I mean, I tend to agree with you again on this. We've had this conversation a million times. Uh, the only thing is, if you're gonna jump in, get some help when you're jumping in. It can be a little scary. I'm
Yep.
gonna warn you now.
And by the way, Green Gecko, I'm not sure if you're on our Discord, but if you do need help, if you're new to Linux, I don't know how long you've been to Linux, but if you could always jump in our Discord and get help there. Most of the people in
I'm
this
gonna drop
chat
the link
all
again.
reside in our Discord. We're always in our Discord and in our voice chat, so you get tons of help. Proprietary software rehab, ain't that the truth? Waffles for Linux. We are the
That's so
rehab.
true.
That is funny. So I guess you know
Here's
when
the
it
link
comes
to
to
our
Endeavor,
Discord.
like I said, maybe they maybe this is them still growing and trying to shore up their issues with their software release updates. And this is just an
Yeah.
admitted fact. I mean, good on them for admitting it and sticking it, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
that's a
I'm
start.
glad
I
they're not
mean,
trying to like
yeah,
string people along. Yeah.
right, exactly. Or all of a sudden just blacking out that branch of their repo and be like, what the heck? What happened? Where did this go? What's going on? At least they're being
Right.
honest as to the reason why. So that's a good thing. So we're gonna move on to our next topic number 3, which is by far first off the it's cool. It's a cool topic, but the name is just hilarious as hell. And
Go ahead.
it's the Noble Wombat. Oh, cool. He's in our Discord already.
Numbat.
Yeah, called
Numbat.
Numbat. Sorry, yeah, not Wombat, Numbat.
Yeah.
When I first started, I keep thinking Wombat, but then when I read Numbat, I was like, what the hell is a Wombat? So let me go ahead and I'm gonna just put this up on screen for you guys so you guys can actually see what a Numbat is. Uh, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. That is a Wombat. A Numbat. A Numbat is a banded anteater that looks like a bird up 00 on Discord. Cool. Is a band. It's a banded anteater that is kind of cool. In
I
the
don't want to
sense
pet one.
of uh, it looks like a squirrel bred with an anteater, kind of sort of,
Hmm.
and it's smaller than an anteater. But anyhow, that's what a numbat is, if you were wondering. And so if you look at the thing, the actual web page, I'll put that back up for you guys to see. You'll see that there were a lot of changes. Jonathan, you want to talk about these changes?
Yeah, yeah. I'll take you guys through just the brief and important changes that have happened. So, you guys know that bug. Apparently, like during the year 2038, Linux computers just stopped working. Yeah, yeah, that's not a thing anymore. They finally fixed that in 24.04 LTS, which is
Mm-hmm.
the exact version of Ubuntu we're talking about. There's also yeah, yeah, they're just going to continue to do the latest six release kernel. There's also a new utility called NetPlan, which is kind of like a backend to network manager and other different utilities like that. Which the reason why this is cool, it's more of just an advanced and more modern thing to use. There's more other things. Let's see what else.
Well, the
Trying to
kernel,
think of.
they're updating the kernel on that, and then the other thing
Yep.
was the the JXL form. No, that
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
them. Yeah, yeah, it is them, right?
There's yeah, yeah. No, no, that's our next topic.
Oh, okay.
But it's okay. It's okay. It's easy to mix them up. Something that that you will probably know and recognize that'll be different is they're replacing the Snap Store with the
That's
Ubuntu
right.
App Center. It's the same thing. Just a new logo.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna look a little bit different. I've actually played with 24.04 when it was in the daily image section, and they had accidentally released it in that. It's actually really nice. It's really well designed. It wasn't fully functional yet, so I can't tell you like the full experience, but I can tell you it was quite a bit faster than the current Snap Store. So that's always good. Then they're going to be releasing it with GNOME 46, which is good. I'm glad they're actually updating it. And there's obviously going to be updating Firefox, LibreOffice, and then Thunderbird's going to be Supernova.
Correct.
Let's see.
And then another thing that they're doing is they're also for those ZFS fans, they're actually bringing a support for the ZFS guided installations as well. So it'll enhance the flexibility for you guys for choices. And they're bringing that back. And then another thing that I noted too is they're oh, you already did mention the store. My bad. That's what I was noticing was the
Yep,
store too.
you're good.
Yeah, the store, is rebranded, but all in all, I mean, they've done a lot of work on it, and it's going to be pretty cool, like I said. But the name just got me. The name was hilarious, and
Yes.
I want to talk about that for a minute. Why why is it that they always have wild animal names that they come up with for their district?
I don't know because if you look back, at all of the different ones, I'd say in the last 10, 15 years now,
Mm-hmm.
it's always been animals, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I remember, yeah, like,
That's
it's
their
always
that's
been
their
that way.
thing.
Yeah. But
That,
like, the thing I think we're both hitting on here is what's up with the adjective that describes the name of the animal? Like,
noble,
let's
yeah, like the
think.
noble
Yeah.
numbat. Yeah, but
Uh,
noble actually they've used quite a few times.
and then there was Mantic Minotaur, I believe was
Minotaur,
one.
yeah, which is
There was
which is
yeah,
wild.
like,
I mean, I think it's.
they just
Don't get me
seem
wrong. I'm not slamming the names. It's just their nomenclature is just wild. The way they
it
do that.
is.
I mean, you got to admit, branding wise, for advertisement, it makes it stand apart.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different, and it's something that I think a lot of people probably don't think about so much because they just go to the website, they download it, they don't care what the name is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, to some degree, but it helps them stand out because when they read it, they're like, "Oh, okay," and it kind of keeps their interest. What about wombats? Wombats are in I believe they're indigenous to Australia.
Yes.
Also, by the way, Green Gecko, you're welcome. He says in the chat, I'm actually very surprised that this was the first time hearing about Nala. Just installed it. LOL. Thanks for bringing that up in the beginning. Nice. You really enjoyed it. Whiskey probably named them that way just for iteration.
For the
You're probably right,
alliteration.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
But also when it comes to, I mean, when you're doing stuff like this and you're out there, you're creating a distro, you're going to name, you don't want to name it the same old everything. Otherwise, everybody be like Forks R Us or Ubuntu Remastered version 12. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Green Gecko here is asking if I'll just generalize what they put
Yeah.
in here. They're saying, what if they do we think they have a list that's already pre-generated, or do we think they're coming up with the names on the fly? I'm assuming there's a computer generating these names. Part of me just kind of feels like it is, because it almost reminds me of like AI trying too hard.
No, actually, no, because a lot of these names pre-existed before AI.
Right, but
So
AI has actually been around a lot longer than people think it has. It just wasn't in
I
the
know that,
same form.
I know that, but I somehow I just don't feel that. I'm of the opposite vein on this, man, because personally, I feel that it was a list that was generated by a bunch of people just brainstorming, you know,
Okay.
and then they choose from that name, and they all go in there, and I swear it almost feels like these people had to pre-funk before this, brainstorming process. Like they're out there slamming Jack and Cokes and smoking some weed or something like that to get into an altered headspace.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? To come up
I
with some of
mean,
these names,
hey,
like because I mean,
sometimes it takes that.
like I was saying is when it comes to branding, dude, it's actually genius if you think about it. It's legitimately genius. I see this
Oh,
look of concentration on your face.
no, no, I saw something and I'm kind of wondering why they did this. So I didn't see this earlier, but I just saw it. It was bolded. They're actually having a ZFS guide and installation option. Why is this so interesting? Because ZFS is not officially supported by Linux. If you didn't know that, you can.
That's what I literally said.
I know,
Oh,
I know,
okay.
but
Oh, you mean
I know, but
you're
I'm
surprised that
wondering
you
if they're
missed it?
doing Open ZFS or if they're actually doing real ZFS.
No, I think it's ZFS. Otherwise, it would have said Open
Okay,
ZFS.
right, but
They're not.
some people
They
use it
don't ever just
interchangeably.
vaguely put it out on their thing. They're pretty legitimate and literal to what they're putting out.
That's right. That's true. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why I brought. That's exactly why I specified that because that was pretty big stuff, and they're reintroducing it. So that means that they've worked on something to make it better. So that's an early adoption of that. Of that to be in a major corporation. So that's gonna be good
Right. And so the reason why it took me so long for me to quite register it in my brain was because they took it out. But why are they putting it back in?
because
Why
they
would you
want to
take it
release
out
something.
to put it right back
Well,
in?
they had issues where I think it was corrupting, if I remember correctly. It was corrupting.
Oh, no, I did not hear about this.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think it
okay.
was corrupting on the installation when they were doing their guided installation. They were leaving it up to other people to play with that. But I think they had a patch or something that fixed it. I can't remember. I know this has been a while ago, and they're finally reintroducing it. So that could be what they fixed and probably optimize some other stuff. But I know that there was, I think when you finished doing the conversion to it, it created a actual corrupted system. So
Gotcha. I get what you're saying now. That makes sense because yeah, I had not heard about that at the time. So okay.
yeah,
Um
so that's what they're doing. So I mean that's kind of cool. And so for me, like I said, I like the work that they're doing on it. I look forward to reviewing it. I've only, interestingly enough, I've only done a small handful of actual reviews of Ubuntu. I mean, and the weird part is I've had people ask me, "Do you hate Ubuntu?" And it's like, no, I don't hate Ubuntu at all. In fact, I have a strong respect and love for Ubuntu because of what Ubuntu has done for the Linux community. I mean, it hasn't done near what Fedora has done as far as the inception of creating programs and driving that whole, application thing development for apps on Linux and stuff like that in programs. But what Ubuntu did is early on it adopted Linux, it embraced it, and it
yep.
brought it to the world. Through their Linux through Unity, that CD. I mean, if I mentioned that CD, and people like me who've been in Linux for a very long time automatically remember that CD used to get in the mail with all the people holding hands in the shape of the Ubuntu symbol, with the Ubuntu logo in the middle. Everybody remembers.
I'm not quite of that age, unfortunately. I just remember having to make the CDs. That's what I remember.
Yeah, but in any instance, I mean, that's what Ubuntu did, and so that's why I will forever have a severe, deep respect for Ubuntu, no matter what direction it goes in, because you can't deny its accolades of the greatness that it has done for our community and what we're about on this channel. We're
Yeah.
about bringing
Yeah.
Linux to the world. We're about helping people transition to Linux, and make successful transitions through the videos that we make and stuff like that. And actually, we're also working as dedicated as other YouTubers are to changing the face of Linux and from being RTFM guys to being the
Yeah.
actual nice adopters of Linux and willing to help out people with questions.
Yeah, I can say just firsthand that's been almost a 180 in the last 10 years. Like, it's been a large change, and I'm glad there's been so many people
And
trying to change that.
yeah, I mean,
And
and what I love is we're living in an age now where a lot of YouTubers are starting to pop up doing Linux content, and hopefully they make the stake and stay around. But either way, as they're popping up, it's great to see that because they're fostering that same environment as well, which is amazing to me.
yeah, yeah, I mean, I like I don't know. 'Cause I am thinking so hard right now, and the reason why is because we're seeing this change right now from the lack of better words. I'm not trying to be offensive, but
Hmm.
the older Linux YouTubers going into like this new age of people, and I'm wondering how that's going to go because like that we're very much relates to what we're talking about, right? Because if these people that are becoming new to Linux or the new to the Linux content creation space continue to embrace the same philosophy of trying to, bring more people in, but doing it in a way that is accepting and loving, then it'll work. I'm just hoping that that continues to happen. That's what I can
Oh,
say.
I think it will because, like you said, the generation that's coming in is of that mindset.
Mhm.
Dare I say they're inclusive, not to overuse that word, which I think gets overused a lot, but they're more inclusive of people and understanding. Now, um, that being said, what I do still see is that generation that's coming in is quick to anger a little bit, get frustrated a little bit. I think if they could work on that a little bit, that would make a whole world of difference. And I'm not necessarily speaking directly at you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know, I know.
But
I just
I mean,
I couldn't help
I'm
but laugh.
saying, people hear the same question asked 3 or 4 times, they get frustrated real quick. Why can't these people understand? Well, first off, you got to understand, there's different people in different places. Linux in Casa is a perfect example. He's here in our chat somewhere, or maybe he's gone because he had busy or whatever. But anyhow, he's here. He's from a totally another language speaking place, trying to stay in or engage. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's amazing. And we have to understand that, and we forget. So, that being said, that's all that we got to say on that topic. Don't you think?
Yeah, yeah.
Just remember where
Let's
people are coming from. Try to understand.
Yep. Yep.
All right, so we'll move on to our fourth topic, which is Mint 22, which we understand there are a lot of people that love Mint out there. Why, I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I jest. Mint is actually fantastic. In fact, that is the one of the two, either Mint edition from Ubuntu or Linux Mint Debian edition are the two that I recommend to people that are first coming over to Linux. Use that as a launching platform and grow with it, and then go on to whatever else you think you might be interested in. So let's go ahead and put that on screen for these folks for the Mint 22 edition that's coming out, and we'll talk about what is going on with that.
Okay. Do you want to talk about it, or do you want me to?
It doesn't matter. We could talk about it. So Mint 22. What is really, really nice about it, in my opinion, is that they've done a lot of work under the hood. We're talking about the Deb 822 support. They've done localization improvements for Mint 22 installations to better localize and use less disk space than before, which is always nice. I mean, disk space is always optimal. Another thing that they've done is they've added Pipewire in there as well, which is really good. That's definitely a move for the future. JXL support. In case some people don't know, JXL is just a short acronym for JPEG XL. So that means that you're getting better resolution performance on larger pictures,
images
and images that you're doing. Also, the kernel series. They prioritized the stability of 21 releases shipped with Ubuntu LTS 5.15. Edge ISOs were made with more of the hardware accelerated kernels to bring
extended.
Extended, not accelerated. Kernels to bring support for new hardware. So I mean, they've done a lot with that. The XApp thumbnailer for GIMP, which is cool. They've done that, but really, I think one of the coolest things, not that this is a huge tout, but it's also very viably used because it's kind of important when you have online accounts for like your drives, your cloud storages, that kind of stuff. They've actually properly enabled this, not through an extension or forced you to have to do like you had before with web apps or anything like that to use those. But legitimately, it is actually in there right now. It's coming out embedded as a proper native application in there. And then Thunderbird has been moved to a snap. So with Thunderbird being moved to a snap, I don't know how you feel about that, man.
Here's the thing, though. They went in and they repackaged it as a dev package.
Oh, they did.
They did.
Oh, that's right, because they don't snaps. That's right. They don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, they went and repackaged it as the actual dev package, so they made it prop. So that's good. And then Juggernaut, which we talked about, Juggernaut on one of the streams.
Yes.
For those that don't know, Juggernaut is the Hex Chat, which is an IRC client, has been revamped and made look pretty. And at that, we also talked about how viable IRC still is, which surprisingly, a lot of people still use
it.
IRC, right? And then also the package repository, which this in and of itself is another big plus. I mean, they've done a lot of quality stuff here with Mint. For me, this one is cool because they're using Fastly. Now, I don't know how many people in chat know what Fastly is, but Fastly is it's a database that they host their repositories on that is a global CDN.
Yep.
So, like, you're talking about blazing fast repositories, which is pretty cool. What are you seeing in chat, brother?
I was just looking at what you were talking about. Nobody's talking in chat right now. I hope
that's interesting.
Hope everybody's doing all right.
Yeah. So anyhow, so there's that. Also, what I thought was interesting too in this article as well is how we all know that Cinnamon is their big desktop, but we were talking about earlier when you look at this image that I have up here, how the proportions are for the other desktops they have, which they have a Mate distribution. They have the Edge ISO, which for those that don't know what Edge is basically, in loose terms, their rolling release.
For their kernel.
for their kernel. And then
Yeah.
they have the LMDE sticks, which everybody knows that exists. And then, of course, they have the XFCE. But what I was saying in this that I found interesting is that the mate is only at 13%, or mate, some people call it. And for me, the mate is one that, at this point in time, having all the other ones that they maintain, XFCE is going to be around forever. It has been. It stood the test of time. There are
Yep.
people that are just adopters that are never going to leave XFCE, right? Mate, as you said, is fast, but
It's
really
fast.
between Budgie, Mate, and Cinnamon, right?
Right. It's probably the least
It's probably the
likely to
least
stick.
one, right?
Yeah.
So if I was going to drop any one of the supports, I would be dropping that. You can't get rid of LMDE just by the nature of what LMDE is.
It's
It's their
the backup
backup
plan.
plan. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So if Ubuntu decides to can them or whatever because they're refusing snaps or whatever, that's why they came up with LMDE. So at that point in time, I would say Mate would be the odd man out. So I don't know. It's just interesting. It's just interesting in their dynamics of how they put that up there in lieu of all the work that they're doing with Cinnamon. So I think this chart was to show the reason why they put so much work into Cinnamon, which could be very easily flipped into that happens with the LMDE. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. Continuing on though, I if you look right below that chart,
Mm-hmm.
it says advertising, and they're removing a bunch of the ads from their website. And do you want to know why I think that's so great? Because well, to me, ads are kind of like death, right?
Okay. So we can talk about this. We can definitely talk about this because we all know how I feel about ads.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is this. Coming. What's up, Hit Dad? He says I don't want to talk. I love him, dude. I love him.
I saw that.
Anyhow, coming from a YouTuber,
Yeah.
outside of patronage, buy me a coffees, channel support through people actually paying the $1.99 or whatever it is now. I mean, I got it down to as low as it'll be. And we
Right.
have supporters of the channel. We're very grateful to them, by the way. Shout out to all the channel members. Love you guys. Thank you so much for what you guys do. I don't shout you out near enough, and that is my fault. And I'll make a better concerted effort of doing that. But the reality of it is ads are vital to people like that, and that surprises me that they're cutting out ads because I can only imagine that they're not getting near. Although, if you did go on, I think to look at it down below that.
Yeah, they have sponsors.
Where they actually list, and I was shocked. I was shocked at the list of people that contribute and donate to them.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount.
But
it's amazing though.
Well, it's not crazy. Stop and think about this. When you go to that list that you see down at the very bottom of the page where they put it down there, that's for February. Okay?
Yep.
If you look at February and you look at that list and you do the math on that, compared to the people that are working on that project,
that's
how long
true.
it's been,
yeah,
all the upkeep that needs to be done, I guarantee you that doesn't even cover the cost of freaking their online storage.
Yeah, they actually put the total down on the bottom for their patrons as well.
Yes.
On the very bottom. It's 3,503.
They're getting a sum of $3,500 a month.
Yep.
Out of 1,045 patrons. So that being said, like I said, in perspective, that's not a lot for the level of work that goes into countless hours. If they're actually paying people, I mean, it's not a lot. So to me, them cutting out ads, I think is going. I imagine that maybe Fast is doing it if they sponsor, as a sponsorship for them or something like that. I get it, but still, that could be an angle that they're working right now. Is that they're getting sponsors to help them host things and do things. And that's beneficial to them as a whole.
I have this is me just guessing. It's a guess. I want to preface that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if it's actually costing more to host the infrastructure than it is that they're getting the ads. And that might be why. The ads don't pay very much. So.
Oh, I understand. Well, for us on YouTube, of course. But on their webpage, you got to understand, they're cutting out the middleman.
Right,
See, if we were to host the ads on our things and get sponsors like that, we get way more than what YouTube pays us for ads.
Right.
So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like they're a different model than the YouTube model for ad sponsorship.
That's true.
YouTube makes all that money, and we get literally half a cent on the dollar for what they're paying. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
I'm being sincere.
I know.
This is YouTube. You know what I'm saying? It's raping us. What's up, Arch? How you doing? Welcome to the chat. So
Hello.
in my mind's eye, to me, I think that could be a huge profit loss for them.
Yeah. I'm wondering what they're gonna do to make it back up.
Well, that's what I'm
I
saying.
really think,
I don't
yeah,
think they're. I think it was a very calculated decision because they weighed out the cost of the only other, like I said, the only other thing that I could think of in their situation that they're doing is they're getting sponsorships that are actually, you know, they're doing sponsorships where they're sponsoring them on their platform, like giving them storage space or giving them equipment to use or upgrading equipment and that kind of stuff, and putting the real money in on the backside, which is what they needed so they
right.
could offer it, ad free. But they're recouping that dollar somewhere else. I guarantee you that because there's no
They
way you're
have
cut
to.
your
I
nose
mean,
off
they
to
are a
spite your face
business.
on that one. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like I said, from a business perspective, that's what I see in that. But good on them for doing that for sure.
Yeah. And definitely, I know it shows something to the Linux community for sure. And I know I have plenty of people that I know that don't love ads, so I think that's
I
it's
know,
cool.
and I hear about them all the time, and
Yeah.
you know what? I understand it. I get it, and I tell people, that's great. Watch your videos or whatever without your ads. But if you really truly support that YouTuber and care about what that YouTuber's doing, then I strongly suggest maybe when you're done watching the video and you're done doing your YouTube for the day, just let that video loop and play all the way through at least one time with the volume muted on it. You know what I mean? Just to help
Either
truly
do
support
that or,
that YouTuber.
what I tell people to do if they're going to be using an ad blocker, what they need to do instead is go grab the extension sponsor block instead of an ad blocker.
What?
You're gonna,
I've never heard of this. It's interesting.
yeah, sponsor block. What it does is it'll take you through, and then whenever like somebody does their own advertisement within a video, it'll just skip that section. So yeah, you'll still watch the one at the very beginning and one at the end potentially, but that's it. You're not having to deal with those sections and videos where it's oh, let's talk about this CPU cooler or whatever it may be that they're
Yeah,
deciding to
that just pops
sponsor
up and
is
interrupts the
sponsored by.
video.
Yeah, exactly.
But it still lets one or two ads play at the beginning at the very end, huh?
Yep, exactly.
Well, that's cool. That's a great alternative, a compromise. Although there are some people out there that just totally deplore ads, which I get. I don't have an issue with that. I really don't. I mean, in fact, I used to skip them all the time, and then I literally, have not been skipping them. And one of the things I found is I found some cool ideas through some of the ads that I've seen. I'm like, oh wow, that's
Yeah.
an interesting idea. I'm like, wow. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean I have to run out and buy whatever they're professing, but I have found some pretty interesting ideas and knowledge of things that exist out there in the wild that maybe at a point in time, if I truly develop a need for it, I know that it exists. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, absolutely. I don't typically skip ads on videos. I mean, they're annoying, but I understand it supports somebody's
well,
living,
since
and
you've come to
I'm
this
not
side
going
of
to be the
since
one
you've
to
come to
rob
this
them
side of the
of
table
dinner
on
or
it,
whatever.
yeah.
What?
Since you've come to this side of the table on it, you realize
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
exactly.
did too. I ain't gonna lie, I did too. So anyhow, I guess that's a wrap for all the topics today. Um, so I want to ask you a question. What have you
Yeah,
got
go for it.
upcoming through the week that you and upcoming next week that you're looking forward
Oh, you knew what I was getting ready to say.
to? No, I
I
didn't
think you
really.
did.
I swear to God.
Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm excited about. Is tomorrow. Because tomorrow is the day the motherboard comes on.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow is the day I get to assemble everything.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow is when I'm installing Proxmox. Woo woo woo
so
woo.
by clarification for some of the people in the chat that may not know, like Green Gecko and those guys, that may not have been in the voice chat or whatever, you are installing a dual Xeon processor motherboard that you're literally
Yes.
going to have to put in some other closet
Yes.
somewhere
Getting real loud.
because it's going to be
Yeah,
extremely
and
loud.
it'll have my art card, a Tesla K80 in it as well. Um It's a 1200 watt platinum rated power supply. Um, I'm super stoked because this will end up being a total of 40 cores and 80 threads.
Wow,
And
that's just
then
insane.
I'm excited for the 25th of this month as well, because that's when they install my fiber line, my 5 gig up and 5 gig down.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
That's
So
when
you
they do
got
it.
you got some major improvements coming along the way.
I do.
Nice.
I'm getting really tired of the issues I've been having. So
Nice. Well, I
yeah,
am looking forward to this week on some stuff hopefully starting to resolve itself at work, at my real job, my day job. Um, I know some people in the back. I don't want to get on into details on that here in the on the
right.
cast, but I'm looking forward to that. But I'm also looking forward to some videos that I made. I just found I've never heard of this distribution in any way, shape, or form. I think it was I where old man memory. But anyhow, I found this distribution through a comment that was made on a video in a response to a video, and I have looked at it, and I'm literally blown away by it. The name itself is freaking fantastic. So I'm going to be doing that review on it. And by the way, I've got a cram for this review for sure because it is literally a very distinct and a one use case scenario type distribution, and it's not anything like people have really seen so far from what I understand. This is actually well, in a way it can be, it fits in a vein of another type of distribution that's very popular, but it's really nice. That's all I got to say. And the support that comes with it is fantastic. The company's legit that putting this together, and they actually have tutorials on everything that you need for it. They have courses that you could take on it on their through their webpage that are 100% free to totally show to make this work. Have you got? I know you know what the name of it is. Don't say it. What's up, Grandpa
I
Lennox?
don't know.
Darren just joined the chat.
Here's the thing, though, Alex. I don't know which one you're talking about. I'm thinking of like 3 or 4 different things. You'll have to tell me later. Which
I
one?
told you before the show. Did you forget already? The one with the
It's
kick-ass
been a long
name.
day. You know this.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's got a totally kick-ass name. I mean, that's what made me that stood out to me. It's like, huh, that's interesting. Never heard of that one. I thought it was just going to be almost like a Hannah Montana type Linux. If I could, if that'll drop a little, nugget. Maybe you could force that together. Hannah Montana, TV. Get it? TV type
No.
series.
You'll
No.
have to spell this out later. Anyways. Oh, oh
Literally, it's letters. That's another
I
clue.
know, I know. I'm sorry. Darren here is saying he just woke up from an old man nap. You know,
Gotcha. That
Darren, you're
means
not
you know
as
what
old
that
as you
means.
think you
That
are.
means he literally sat in his chair and fell asleep.
Mm-hmm. Yep, sounds about right.
Yeah. So anyhow, yeah, I'm taking a look at that review. Also, looking, I'm doing a couple more of the talking head videos. I found I used to hate doing them, but I found
Those are so
recently,
much fun.
yeah, I found recently that especially when you do them in the tutorial form, kind of like I did, that's dropping this week on Alien, and how to get away with it.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
pleasure
and
doing it.
if you aren't already and you guys like Rumble, go follow us over there.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're on Rumble. Also, I'm actually looking forward to the content we're going to make for the other new channel, Alex and Jonathan. So,
Yeah. We already have one episode up. Do you want me to grab a link?
sure, grab a link, drop it
Okay.
in the description, and then I
Yeah.
guess that's a wrap on what I'm looking forward to the week. Other than that, you guys have been caught up. Thanks for this wonderful show. While he's dropping the link to our new channel, of course, you could sub over there if you haven't already. Smash the thumbs up over there. It only helps out. I think we've already got 10 subscribers over there, which is pretty awesome. Maybe more. I haven't checked out it in a while. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe here if you haven't. Smash that thumbs up on every video you can. It helps us out. Support us in any way that you guys can. For those of you that are channel members, thank you so much. We love your love. And we don't shout you out near enough, but thanks for what you guys do. If you are not a channel member, consider it. Other than that, I'll simply say this, man. Y'all keep doing what you do. Keep on Linux. Stay blessed. Stay happy. And above all, we will see you in the very next one.
Bye, guys.